Welcome back to a brand new video, and for today's video we'll be going over 15 cards that will be rotating out with the upcoming rotation in April of 2026. So without further ado, let's get into these cards. So starting out with the Earthen Vessel, even though it was printed in Shrouded Fable, it was originally printed in Paradox Rift as a uncommon. So it doesn't matter that it is in Shrouded Fable, it does have a G-block rotation. It will be rotating out in the upcoming rotation in the next 6 months or so. And I don't even really see this card coming back like a legacy kind of card, like a Nest Ball, Ultra Ball kind of deal, because it does have the Ancient Future gimmick from the Scarlet and Violet era. So I definitely don't see this being like reprinted like a one-for-one like Nest Ball or Ultra Ball. And currently going for about $40-ish on TCG Player. My guess is that there just aren't too many copies listed, so there's only like 100 copies of this card, so that's probably why it's holding its value pretty well. But I guess we'll have to wait and see after rotation. Next up, we got the Counter Catcher in all of its variants. So this is definitely a card that to me feels like the Nest Ball Ultra Ball kind of situation, where this card just goes in and out of rotation and it always comes back, because it was first printed in Crimson Invasion as a secret rare and a uncommon as well. So it definitely just came back from that and was released in Paradox Rift as a secret rare and uncommon as well. And I'm pretty sure this will come back. So the uncommon goes for about $1.50, $1.60. I remember it used to be like a $3 card or more, even closer to like $3.50. So it was a pretty pricey uncommon. And then the secret rare for Paradox Rift is about $6, $7. The secret rare from Crimson Invasion is like about $15-ish. So definitely interesting to note here. And I do feel like this was a really good card, so that's why it's probably going to keep coming back into rotation after it rotates out, like maybe a year after, because it's an item card that allows you to gust your opponent if you are behind in the prize cards. And then moving on to the next card, we got the Golden Go EX from Paradox Rift. Really, really good card here. It's basically a top tier deck right now in the current rotation for Standard. At all of the regionals, it is a heavily used deck, and it got even better with the Mega Evolution set, where it picked up the Soul Rock Lunatone combo, and it basically got a really good single prize attacker, as well as even more draw support with the Lunatone. So a really good card here. It's going for about $6 on TCG Player, and does sell every day, so this is definitely a deck that people want to play. And yeah, really can't beat Golden Go. It is a really, really good deck to play with. Like, it is definitely winning regionals, taking top ranks at these regionals all the time. Moving on to the next card, we got the Superior Energy Retrieval. This is a item card trainer, and I do feel like this was printed in previous formats, like probably like Black and White era or Diamond and Pearl, but this is the first hyper rare variant that we've got. So a very simplistic card. You discard 2 other cards from your hand to get 4 basic energy cards out of your discard pile. So this will be rotating out. It's going for like $4. Nothing too crazy, but I do think this could be like Counter Catcher. It's going to just keep coming back into rotation and just take these small breaks of like maybe 6 to 8 months and then come back right in. And then moving on to the next card, we got the Charizard EX here from Obsidian Flames. This was an insanely expensive card when it first came out in Obsidian Flames because it was so powerful. It was like a $20-ish, $25 single when Obsidian Flames first came out. And this is a really good card. It's still good up to this point. It's just not as powerful as it once was. It's not taking those really top tier ranks at the regionals, but it's still being played at the regionals. It still does fairly well. And yeah, it goes for about $3, $4 on TCG Player. And let's see, there's about 400 listed. So yeah, this is still a really good card. Do keep in mind it will be rotating out as it is G-Block in April of 2026. So, and I don't know, I feel like the price will probably drop when it rotates out. It's probably going to be like 20 cents, 50 cents when it rotates out, in my opinion. Moving on to the Mew EX from 151. This was basically like the most playable card from 151. It was so perfect in many ways, where it has a decent amount of HP for a stage 2, has a good ability, a good attack, free retreat cost, even the fighting resistance. And it was a good counter to the Cornerstone Ogerpon EX as well, so you can't get walled out if you have your Mew EX. And it's going for about $5. It still sells every day for $5. Even though we are really close to rotation, like 6 months or so from the rotation date. So yeah, this is a really good playable card. I hope we get a reprint down the road of a similar card to this Mew EX. Like maybe a little less buffed where it has a retreat cost or something, but yeah, I do feel like this Mew EX was pretty good. And it still got a ton of play, even though it came out in the same rotation block as the Charizard EX that has weakness on it, and it still gets a ton of play. And then moving on to the next card, we got the Bravery Charm Hyper Rare from Stellar Crown. Even though the Stellar Crown set is not rotating out itself, this Bravery Charm was printed in Paldea Evolved originally as an uncommon, so this is just a Hyper Rare variant. Got printed down the road in a different set, but it is still G-Block. It will be rotating out. Goes for about $7 on TCG Player, and about 250 copies listed right now. So yeah, I'm pretty kind of surprised it's still going for even $7 or $8 with the rotation being so soon. Next up, we got the Super Rod Hyper Rare from Paldea Evolved. I remember when this card used to go for like $25 or more, even like $30 when Paldea Evolved first came out. So yeah, now it's only $8, and it's probably going to keep going down as we get closer and closer to rotation. There's about 300 listed, and it does sell every day here. You can look at the data. Yeah, it says 4 of them already sold for just today alone. So yeah, this is definitely a card that does sell every day. People still want it. And moving on to the next card that's rotating out, we got the Luminous Energy from Twilight Masquerade. Now, Twilight Masquerade, just like Stellar Crown, is not rotating out, but this was printed originally in Paldea Evolved. It's like an uncommon, and they just gave it like the fancy version in a different set, a later set. So this is still a very good card, still used in standard format quite a bit, but it does kind of get replaced with the Prism Energy as that special Rainbow Energy card. So it goes for about $7. There's about 200 listed, and it still does sell every day on TCG Player. Moving on to the next card, another special energy card that we got from Surging Sparks, which will be Jet Energy. This was probably either printed in Paradox Rift or Obsidian Flames, maybe. I want to say Obsidian Flames, maybe. So yes, it is still G-Block rotation. It will be rotating out in April of 2026, going for about $8.70 or so. A good amount listed here, and it is a card that does get a good amount of play in the standard format because it gives you a switching option that isn't an item card. So playing an energy card, you can always play energy cards during your turn, but item cards can sometimes be item locked by a Budu or some other game condition, like, I don't know, Banette item lock or some other kind of item lock like the Jellicent EX. So this was a good alternative instead of using a switch item card. And then moving on to the next card, we got the Reversal Energy. I feel like this card was never really too popular in the standard rotation. Like, it was mostly for the Wugtrio Mill deck, because you can only use this card on the Evolution Pokemon. You have to be behind in prize cards, and it has to be on the Pokemon with no rule box. So it has 3 criteria that need to be met just to even use this card. So I feel like this was kind of like always a cheap card in general. Like, maybe it was $5 a year ago. But yeah, tons of these cards listed. Does it still sell every day? It does still sell every day. And I do kind of feel like $3 is kind of like the bottom floor price on these hyper rare cards. I feel like it's kind of going to be tough to find something under $3 for hyper rare cards. I feel like $2-3 is going to be the floor price here. Who knows? Maybe it goes down even more after rotation. Next up, we got the super playable Pidgeot EX. This was so popular right out of the gate when Obsidian Flames first came out. Just such an insanely strong ability with the quick search ability. Search out your deck for any one card and put it into your hand. It's totally busted. And even the attack was really good, 120 damage, and you discard a stadium card in play, which was really good for discarding like a ace spec stadium card in a pinch if you really needed to. So it goes about for like $4 on TCG Player, 3 or 4 I guess depending on the shipping cost and how you calculate all of that stuff. But yeah, there's 1,200 listed on TCG Player, so quite a lot. But yeah, this was a really, really good card when it first came out. And it basically buffed up, in my opinion, all of the Stage 2 decks, because just about any Stage 2 deck can use this card, and it pairs very well in a Stage 2 deck. I do feel like probably... yeah, this is probably going to go down in price, in my opinion, when rotation hits. So, let's see. Next up, we got the Arven from Obsidian Flames. So this is the Obsidian Flames variant. I'm pretty sure there is a variant from Scarlet and Violet base set when it originally came out. And those were the only 2 variants for Arven that were uncommons. So it goes for about $1 and change here. 5,500 lists on TCG Player, but it says here, according to the charts, that like 100 copies a day sell. So quite a lot of these cards do sell every day. People still want this card so that they can play at the events, the regionals, and everything. A super playable card. You get to search out a item card and a tool card with this supporter card. Next, we have the Luxurious Cape from Paradox Rift. This will be a hyper rare. I feel like it's pretty much at the floor price. It's about $3 and some change here. And this was kind of a gimmicky card. It's more like for control style decks where you got an extra 100 HP, but you can only put it on a Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box. And even if that Pokemon gets knocked out, your opponent does take an extra prize card when they knock it out with the Luxurious Cape. So this was still a pretty good card for the control style deck. I don't really see it coming back like a Nest Ball, Ultra Ball, Legacy kind of card like that. I feel like once this rotates out, it's probably not coming back again. And then last but not least, we got the hyper rare Beach Court from Paradox Rift. I believe this was printed originally in Obsidian Flames. And this did see quite a lot of play when it first came out, but I feel like the use kind of tapered off when the Lost Box decks rotated out from Lost Origin with the Comfies and everything. So there was not much use for it after the Lost Zone box decks got rotated out. And now with Latias EX, where you can retreat out basic Pokemon for free, it's kind of really not seeing all that much play. So that's why it's kind of like a pretty cheap card now. It's like $2 to $4, depending on how you calculate shipping and all of that. Probably more like $3. So yeah, this card does sell every day. Let's see, what does this data say? Yeah, it does still sell every day. About $2 to $3. So there we have it. Those are all of the 15 cards that I wanted to mention that will be rotating out in the April 2026 rotation. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.